we'll see after that. We'll start off with the first one here. This is the Freedom Gold Charcoal Crossette Comet. That's what that's supposed to do. Next up is the Silver Glitter Crossette Comet. It's pretty good for a crossette. Next up, 3-inch Vulcan Crackling Comets. Next up, we have some, these are out of the 3-inch Dominator Assorted Mines. Good consistency there again. Next up after this, now we're going to start the 4-inch Freedom Feather and Color Mines. Were kind of upset, as were we, when we sold out of the Young Feng 4-inch Thundering Mines last year. I'd say that's an absolutely wonderful replacement for those. Those are very, very good, especially for the price. Next up, we have a 4-inch Vulcan Special Multicolor Go-Getter Mine. A crossfire onto a 3-inch, or maybe it was the 2-inch color peony chain. We'll see if the cue doesn't go. That was the special multicolor go-getter mine that preceded the chain. These next ones, if you've never seen them before, I think you're in for a treat. This is the 4-inch Vulcan 3-layer mine. Somehow we had a shell hooked up again. Next up, now that we're through with the mines and comets, we have Dominator 2-inch Assorted Shells. This is color peony chain that I think may have fired already. That would be a yes. So the shells that we saw right after the mines of the special multicolor go-getter, those are the Dominator 2-inch Assorted Shells. That was the color peony that was in the Assorted Shells. Good breaks out of a 2-inch shell. Next up is going to be the Dominator 2.5-inch Assorted Shells. And what we've done here, guys, is we just pulled out basically top of the case, an assortment that we came to, put them on a time chain, and put them in the guns. This is to give you an idea of what kind of quality you can expect from these manufacturers. Next up is the Freedom 2.5-inch Assorted Shells. That would be a negative. Next up, Dominator 3-inch Assorted. We lost one of the salute chains, obviously. Next up is the Freedom 3-inch Assorted. nice. Next up is going to be the Dominator 4-inch assorted shells. All right, moving on to 4-inch Freedom assorted shells. We are thinking that both of those chains, that was probably the Dominator and the Freedom. I didn't see any bad breaks in there if that is the case, so can't go wrong either way. We're going to try this one. Next up, Dominator 5-inch assorted shells. Nice big breaking shells that you can expect from Dominator 5-inch assortments. Very good. Next up, Dominator 6-inch assorted shells. Next up is Freedom 6-inch assorted shells. There is a colorful wind bell mixed in too. First one. Maybe the only one? Looks like the chain blew out. Alright, sorry about that, guys. We're going to go into our single effect shells. These, again, are fired in V shapes for consistencies, except for the 6s. Once we get down to the 6s, those are singles. So we'll start off with the Freedom 3-inch brocade crown with red pistol. This is a full case of this one effect, 72. The next up, the heart and smiley face. We didn't get that one put in today, so we'll move on down to the Lido 3-inch new color peony. All right, nice colors there. Moving on to the 4s, we have a 4-inch brocade crown to red strobe with red strobe pistol, offered by Nice Dominator shell. Again, continuing on with Dominator here for several in a row, we have a 4-inch white willow. Maybe not. Let's try the 4-inch willow to dark to variegated. That's a white willow. Alright, well, let's see what we get here. Should be a silver time ring cross set with tail. Okay, let's try the red, dark red. That's better than the Lido 6-inch red, dark red. Next up is the 4-inch Dominator Special White Strobe. Good. Next up, Special Red Strobe. Again, these are full case of So you get a full case of 36 of that red strobe right there in one case. Very nice. Next up is the special color strobe. One color and one red, apparently. Next up, the special lemon strobe. Good yellow there. Good, good. Next up, the special green strobe. Very nice again. Very nice Dominator shells. We have some Dominator canisters this year. These are 4-inch. These are one at a time since they're canisters. Whistle with pistol cylinder shell. Next up, Silver Dragon with red crossette cylinder. Next up, the Silver Dragon with red and blue strobe core. Next up, Silver Dragon with blue ring. Next up, we're going back to a couple pairs again here. We have Lido 4-inch new color peony. Next up, now we're going to get into some different stuff here. These Vulcan assorted crisscross are going to be nothing like the cakes that we saw earlier. 4-inch. All right, flipping over, now we have a Vulcan 4-inch assorted go-getter. Next up, a lot of people's favorite, the Vulcan 4-inch Pixie Dust Willow. That is a 4-inch shell. That is beautiful. Next up, 4-inch Pixie Dust with purple pistol. We have nothing. Next up, Pixie Dust with blue pistol. Let's try the Pixie Dust with red pistol. All right. Yeah, that's the 4-inch Pixie Dust with crackling pistol. All right, we're going to move into some 5-inch shells here. This is a Freedom 5-inch, again, full case effect. This is going to be variegated to willow to variegated. You get 18 of these shells. It's interesting. Very nice shell. Next up, Red Strobe Blue Sky Girl. I skipped one. Ah, I see what I did. The first one was Lemon Saturn Gold Strobe Ring to Magic Peony. Now we have the variegated Willow the variegated. Man, that's a nice shell. Now we're going to do the Red Strobe Blue Sky Girl. These are all Freedoms so far. Those are our Freedom 5-inch shells. We are going to shoot a couple Dominator. Well, we're going to shoot one Dominator shell. I'll tell you about the next one in a second. The first one is the 5-inch Brocade Crown to Red Strobe with Red Strobe pistol, like the 4. Try 5. Okay, I had it backwards in my head. That was the Silver Wave to red to blue with 3-time titanium salute. The Brocade Crown is already so popular we couldn't shoot one because we're just about sold out. So I do apologize for that. I didn't get it taken off the sheet in time. Next up is going to be the Vulcan Neon Dahlia. That's some long hang time, all the way down into the forest. Very, very nice. Burned out just before it hit the ground. Very nice. Next up, 5-inch Pixie Dust Willow. That is rather nice. Just got to let that one happen. Next up is the 5-inch Pixie Dust with Aqua Pistol. It's 3D fireworks without the 3D glasses. That's just gorgeous. Next up is the Pixie Dust Willow to Crackling Rain. These are all now. It's almost like a Nishiki Kimura to Crackling from a brand that we just flat out can't get anymore. Very nice. All right, Vulcan 5-inch stained glass. Very good. Now we saw these in the 1.4 Pro line. This is a 5-inch photo flash. Next up, these, I got to explain this sweeper ring, what this is. We're offering this in an assortment, so you get 5 different colors in the case, a total of 18 shells. A sweeper ring is similar to a ghost shell, except for it's only a ring. This is the Vulcan 5-inch sweeper ring. 2 different colors out of the assortment. Kind of comes around in a clockwork fashion. That's pretty cool. Next up, we're going to go into a few 6s here. Again, these are single shot straight up instead of pairs. Dominator 6-inch red, dark red. Nice deep red on the comeback. Very good. Next up is going back to Vulcan here for some more 6s. Oh, that's where it's at, yeah. Yeah, that's where it should be. Okay, I'm sorry, this is just a slight error. The cues were wrong. So now we'll shoot a 6-inch Pixie Dust Willow. So now you've seen that in 4-inch, 5-inch, and 6-inch. You have the ability to build that effect up. Very, very nice. Next up, these are kind of a multi-style shell that we got in from Vulcan this year. The first one is a 6-inch timed double layer salute ring. Pretty cool. Next up is a clockwork timed reports. And finally, we're going back down. This is also an assortment, this Vulcan 6-inch sweeper shell. There's 3 different colors in the case. This is actually the shell, not a ring. going to shoot some assorted 6-inch shells here from Vulcan. This is our 6-inch premium assortment, one at a time. This is all in the 6-inch premium assortment. Very, very nice assortment. Alright, those shells all appear in the 6-inch Vulcan premium assortment, so definitely pick those up tonight when you go back to the bunker. Next up, we have some 8-inch shells for you, starting off with a Freedom 8-inch shell out of the Jin Shan assortment, just one of them. Nice rising breaking flowers, good size 8. Next up is a Dominator 8-inch shell. This is out of the matching assortment. And now we're going to shoot some more Vulcan to finish out here with the shells. This is the next 4 shells are 8-inch shells out of the Vulcan standard assortment. That is Vulcan blue, very nice. There again, that's just the standard assortment. We're going to move into the premium assortment next. That standard assortment at $159. Just keep that price point in mind. That's only about $20 more expensive than regular assortments of 8-inch. These are the premium 8-inch offerings from Vulcan in the premium assortment for $179. If that is in the 8-inch assortment, we're sold out yesterday. We're not 100% sure what that was, but it was a whole lot of pretty. We have one last Vulcan premium shell here. All right, that carries all the way to the ground while we get ready for the next up here. Next up, we have some chains that we're going to shoot First up, we have the Dominator 3-inch variegated finale chain. Pretty nice finale chain for 3-inch. Next up is the 4-inch willow and color finale chains. Pretty good way to get ready to end the show. And now we're going to move into some Lido salutes. First up, these are just the little guys. 1 3/4 inch Lido salutes. These are on a chain that we built. There's 144 of those in a case. They do not come with a tube anymore. No longer with the tube, but 144 of those boogers in a case for $129 is a great value. Next up, we have 3 2.5-inch Lido salute shells. That's just 2.5. Now we have 3 3-inch cylinder salutes from Lido. Next up, we have a 2.5-inch Lido salute chain. And I don't think this next cue is going to go, but if it does, great. 3-inch Lido salute chain. That was the salute chain that went off much earlier today. All right, guys, that completes our demo portion of this evening. We hope you guys saw some stuff that you like. If I could have Mr. Brent come down here.